Alrighty. So, hi everybody here today that are present, and hi everybody online. I have today to tell you a story on what is the Latvian country brand, and that is impossible story because this is pretty much mission impossible. Because everybody, when you meet two Latvians, you can find out three key factors that are different to each of them, and all of the Latvians care who we are and why we are such or such a country. So that's a topic where you always can have a listeners and everybody cares. All right. So first of all, why country positioning or country branding matters, and here in the data, you can see that the countries that we recognize are with the visibility and with a positive vibe gets more sales on exports than the countries that you don't know or care about. And that means that well, obviously, it's not about the slogan. It's not about the logo or whatever. It is about the stories, about the actual tasks that the country have performed, and only with showing up. I don't know, like currently our basketball team shows up in that from nowhere and shows to everybody something that creates our brand. From other side, when 4 years ago, or no, that's 5 years ago. Yeah, 5 years ago, I was posted in Frankfurt. That's the capital of European capital, money market, and our bank boss was arrested for corruption. That created fantastic country brand, and this is obviously that real stories and real news and real jobs actually creates the country brand. So, what have we been? We always have to look back, and we have been a lot of things. Landed things. We have been magnetic. We have been enjoyed slowly. That is something that startups didn't like really, and so on. So yeah. But this is where when you build the brand from the side that you are looking what is the slogan, and then try to find the story behind it. What we have done in this case, in our case, we did vice versa. And we did it from multiple angles. We started on how to create the united and powerful international story. And the story should be based on values and our objectives. So what do we want to achieve and why, and who we are, and what's our values as a country, as a people, and the most important part, what we figured out through the research, is that nobody cares about any other country except if that country does something good for that individual. So if the country does something good, preferably to other country or to people or something, then that country gets recognized. So we figured out that one of the ways what happens actually is we are very good when we are united for a specific topic. Then we looked at the European Commission, and they say, yes, when you unite around a specific topic, that's the mission. So we said, okay, what would be our mission? We did interviews, more than 600 opinion leaders in different ways. What is the most important part? What we figured out, the most important part for everybody, no matter what, are you a teacher, are you a scientist, are you a startup entrepreneur, or are you an investor, you want to live long and happy and have a high quality life. So that is something that unites the world. Nobody wants to really die fast. So, but that's very true. And how to get there? That's the challenge. And what is happening? The world also wants our kids to live long and our grandkids to live long, and that means sustainable. So that's another thing that the world wants. So then we looked at our values and our missions where we were before. And we have been united in multiple things, and most of those things, at least two of those three examples, are when there is a huge crisis. Then we are united, and then we can achieve a lot. And this means that, but in the middle we see that the Sing and Dance Festival, we are united without the huge crisis. So it means that we are, as a society, can join for one topic, for one mission. For example, on Sing and Dance Festival, nobody receives a salary for that. You take your time, you invest your time, you go sing and dance and take the time from the families just to be there on a stage once in 5 years. And nobody asks. The government doesn't say you have to do that. You do it on your own. So why we are doing that? We did, I think, 6 different focus groups with 6 different type of the opinion leaders from 6 different sectors, from entrepreneurs, from scientists, from tourism operators, from government. I don't remember all of the 6, but like whole triple helix on a double, the model. And pretty much the question was, who is average Latvian? And then we got back 3 values. And then we translated them in beautiful English, and I'll try to explain. First of all, connecting worlds apart. It means that from one side, we speak multiple languages. From other side, we're a small nation, and everybody knows Prime Minister by 2 handshakes away. So if you are in this room, you already know Prime Minister 2 handshakes away, because there's innocent. So you just shake her hand, and that's it. So it means then we are ready for any challenges, and this is about the startups. This is about, I see in a room like CEO of Bruntor, and this is something, that is about already of any challenge. Okay, there's a board, there's a idea, and nobody done it. And we don't have huge sand dunes, but the idea was to drive or have the snowboard feeling on the sand dunes. We don't have sand dunes, we don't have really mountains, but we have a device. And this is something that we are special of. And here in the picture is Aerodium team with Mission Impossible, when the Tom Cruise asked specifically to have the biggest wind tunnel in the world and to break Guinness record in Mission Impossible 5, I think. Then the timing was super short, like 9 months. You have to design it and build it and run it. And they gave a pitch proposal, and the Warner Brothers said no, it's too expensive, and went to China. China 3 months later said we cannot do it, it's impossible. Then they came back, and they had just 3 months on the original 9 months time frame, and they came together and they did it anyway. So this is the mindset that we have, and we want to promote. Not everybody in Latvia has the mindset, but we want to promote those ideas and those people who have that type of the mindset. A natural playground. This is more about the government. We are small, and we are fast, and we can talk to each other if it's needed. So we can sit around in one panel and discuss very quickly, and we can get forward very quickly if we are on the one mission, on the one, let's say, playground that we want to achieve. Right, and so is this all fake, or we have data? And obviously this is innovation in the history that the Latvian designer designed Porsche for multiple years, and still we innovate. And this is the picture of Ironis doing the maintenance of wind turbines. They're currently testing also offshore ones, and we don't have offshore wind parks. We're not really famous with a lot of wind parks overall. We are late on that party, but we designed the first device who can service them. So that's the same story. And you can look on these stories on, and we have completed them and collected them, and we are gathering more of those stories, because each of that story represents the values, represents our country, and we are proud to have them. So in combination with this sustainability factor, that is the Green Deal, the technology factor that we have, and we see a lot of scientifically or deep tech based ideas, and heavily investment from the government side on R&D, we see that we can scale amount of those ideas. Government can be a part to generate more and more such stories, not only promote the current ones, but invest to generate more and more such stories. And these are the priority sectors that the data shows that we have biggest chance to become more famous. And I'm not going to go in the government politics why, that's the Ministry of Economics, but in general we have the focus on the sectors where we should look at, and ICT is one of them, and obviously most of the startups are among the ICT. Our target, I heard in previous panel that it is not that important to talk about the target. Then on the government side, it is super important to talk about the target, because if we don't have a huge number that we want to achieve, it is super hard to convince the Ministry of Finance to get any money to invest if you cannot show the numbers at the end of the day. So in our case, we see that to scale Latvian economy, to transform the Latvian economy, we have to achieve those investment targets from the foreign investors to get more money in our economy. And this is the message that on the people, that on our stories, is the message what can get investors more interested. Yes, we have a lot of problems on human capital, but from the other side, we are okay country. We are number 2 in OECD. We are number 1 on mobile data usage. We have the numbers. We can convince on the numbers, but at the end of the day, the investors invest in the people. And if you can tell the story on real stories on the people, if you can show those people in the room, then that's totally different approach. So obviously pay taxes. This is the selling point for us. If you don't pay taxes, we're not interested, and that makes most of the sense. But this is something that we created to reason why we need to brand the country and to tell those stories. And these are the targets that we want to achieve. And if you go further on, the MissionLatvia is not about per se on the logo. It's not about the slogan, but it is about the people. So you, each one of them, are part of the mission if you care about Latvia. So this is also your responsibility to take those stories and to bring them to the world, to talk to the people. And this is one of the hardest parts, because our Latvian mentality that we didn't mention among the three values is we are quite introvert, and we more or less don't like people. So if there's a silence in a tram and nobody talks to each other, it's okay. But that's not okay in other countries. You can hear way more people communicating, and this is something that is the most toughest one to. Even if we collected already a lot of those good stories, but the people to take those stories and tell them to the world, knowing that not everything is perfect. Yes, it's like in a startup. It's not everything is perfect, but we have it running. We are improving, but we already have the stories to tell. So this is also obviously an invitation to all of you to go to Latvia.eu, where you can see all of this, all of the country branding stories, etc. Register as a brand ambassador and go to the world and tell those fantastic stories. And if you are not there and you have the story, then there's a specific location where you can put your story in. We will try to brand it. We'll put you on as a part of the country branding, and then different ambassadors will take your story and take it to the world. So on the final note, this is the country branding is not the government's responsibility. That's each of ours responsibility. We cannot brand the country. We can do, and our successes will brand our country. So what only we can do, we can not be ashamed. We can be proud to be Latvians, and tell that to the world. Thank you so much.
Branding, right? Branding is a challenging task for a startup, for a small startup. It's even a bigger challenge for a bigger and well-established organization. And for the country, I believe many of you have your own opinions, as Kaspars mentioned as well, about the country branding. So this is a challenging topic, and that's why we're having this discussion. And hopefully you'll have the questions afterwards to ask our panel members. But before I proceed with the questions, and I'll ask you to help me out to boost the energy by giving a hand to our panelists. And first and foremost, of course, Director General of Investment and Development Agency of Latvia, Kaspars Rožkalns. Yes, louder. We have a Vice Rector for Innovation at Riga Technical University and the board member of European Innovation Council, Liene Briede. Yes, yes. Very good. Director Latvia of the Cleantech Baltics, Imants Martinsons. We have a CEO and a co-founder of Truesix and the editor of Labs of Latvia. I hope you all read and follow Labs of Latvia, Gifford. And last but not least, we have a director of Latvian Institute of Organic Synthesis, Mr. Osvalds Pugovičs. Awesome. Me, myself, thank you very much, Ņikita from Investment and Development Agency of Latvia. That's all right. It's okay. All right, so in the previous discussion, Ernest Stas threw a curveball right into the audience, asking who from the government is here, right? Not so many hands. And still, in the previous discussion, they've been speaking about what the vision, the targets for the country to prosper. So let me ask from the previous discussion, how many people are still in the audience? One. Okay. And Kaspars just presented all of it. So it just, the matter that we all have to take part. It's not only the government that is not here. We all have to be more collectively focused on reaching our values and the goals. Well, let's dive into the discussion. And discussion is about primarily what Kaspars just presented, no pressure. First and foremost, Yuli, you as a communication expert and the narrative creator for the Labs of Latvia and in your professional life, the question to you is, has been the messaging from what Kaspars presented and probably what you've heard before, has it been clear and the narrative understandable, and whether you see the place for startups in it? Obviously, objectively, we understand, startups play a big role within this as well. What's your take on that?
Wow, what a question. And the task of creating a brand for a country is not an easy task. It's very, very difficult. Because we as a country, we are very different. We have lots of different people with lots of different interests, with lots of different strengths. So how do you put that under one big umbrella? And I think that is what MissionLatvia is trying to do. That being said, I think I've heard maybe about 7 different versions about what that is. And I'm not really surprised about that, and honestly, the more I think about it, I'm not also that mad about it, because I do believe that the brand is, in fact, created by all of us, every single one of us, and every single communication that we have with each other, with foreigners. These are the micro communications that create our brand. And I do believe that the MissionLatvia brand will learn to encapsulate that. And right now it's trying really, really hard to do that. We're trying to get that, Latvian all-natural thing. We're also trying to get the innovation thing. So we're trying to, make the culture people happy and the nature people happy, but we're also trying to make the innovation people happy. And one brand is just not going to be able to successfully do that off the very beginning of the bat. But since it has been launched in, I think it was March, and there was talk about the mission beforehand, I feel like it has gone through lots of different iterations about what our mission is. And this presentation showed us a new definition of what MissionLatvia was that I hadn't heard of. If you go to the Latvia EU website, then it has another different definition about what the mission is. Then we also have the statement that our current mission is saving the Baltic Sea, which is an entirely different tangent in and of itself, and where does that fit into this?
Right.
It's also the only mission currently under the MissionLatvia website. So if someone were to go to the website and say, okay, well, what is the mission for MissionLatvia? Well, right now it's to save the Baltic Sea. And I don't know if everyone knows that, but that's us, our Latvians' mission, according to the website. But I mean, I can't be mad about it. I wrote the website. So that's all to say. What Kaspars presented today, I think, is closer. It's getting us closer to the truth. And the truth is that the mission is created by all of us. And the mission is created by what we go out and what we show to the world, what we say to the world about us, that we can be agile because we are well-connected, we are small, we are innovative, but we can also be slow and enjoying nature and all of this, and we can have all of this together, and we create that vision for ourselves. And I hope that we will get to that point when we do know a common narrative, but I also don't think that we can expect it to come from a governmental institution per se, because it's really the question for society. And afterwards, the designers just put it into a brand.
Thanks, amazing. And pretty similar question to the rest of our panel discussions, except Kaspars, Liene, Imants, also. What's your take on it? Do you see yourself as being part of, what Kaspars presented, being part, and do you feel connected with it now, or do you see a potential of being, connected and driving forward and pushing forward the narrative that Kaspars presented? I know we can, Imants, start with you if you will.
Test, yes, it's working.
Awesome.
Perfect. So, yes, Kaspars, thanks for the presentation. First of all, I'm super glad that there was an ambitious goal, target set, not something average that we probably will achieve and we can put a check mark on it. So there's some ambition into it, so that's perfect. But as to if we see ourselves as part of the mission, so I do think it must be stated that this is not something that was born overnight. So there was work groups, etc., what Kaspars said. And I have been participating in this stuff as well. So there's now steering groups for risk-3 priority areas and so on, smart energy, mobility. And agency like LIA is working to pull ideas, pull priorities, and try to understand what is needed to drive this mission Latvia. And I do feel that we're getting heard more and more, so that's really good. Like getting more traction on the hydrogen topic in Latvia. So we're getting all the signals from the Commission that hydrogen is going big. Start thinking of it, put more funds into it. I'm still hoping there's going to be earmarked funds for hydrogen in Latvia. Not yet, maybe coming. But so I get the feeling that we're getting heard, so we're getting I at least get the sense that I'm also part of this mission, so driving also Cleantech in Latvia. But I do hope that it also going to translate in more on the government side, that understanding, okay, we have this mission, innovation, startups, energy, etc., that it's going to also translate in Latvian participation in flagship initiatives like IPSE, where we haven't been that active and other countries have. So I do hope that this also translates into the governmental approach. We'll see.
Thanks, Imants. Also, any take on what Kaspars presented, and do you feel the Institute of Organic Synthesis and you yourself being connected and being part of it now or in the near future?
Do I feel like part of mission? Yes, I do. The question might be, which part? And let me say, any missions should have some ground. Ground means, in biology, it means soil, and that soil should be as fertile as possible. And research institutions, universities should be part of this soil, should be fertile to create new stories. And believe me, that's fun. That's not only soil. Maybe I like this German term, Kinderstube. Right. We have to educate our youngsters to enable them not only to pretend to do something, but also to be able to do something, to be able to feel like part of mission, like feel able to find new niches, new applications. That's kind of education, and that should be done by universities, that should be performed at research institutions. So that's the task I see. Thank you.
Thanks. And Liene, your thoughts, your takes, based on what Oswald said as well about the universities.
I'm not sure that I can answer for university. I can answer by myself. Okay?
All right, sure.
Regarding the mission, this is a really good question, and I connect a little bit this question with the previous discussion. Who cares? You know, because if you think about this branding of the country, and Kaspars already mentioned several of them, right? So we can go back and ask our questions. If something changed, that the country brand was Be Slowly or something like that, or Dance and Sing and whatever. I believe it's not about that. It's my opinion. But what is important, this mission, it's possible, I would say, a chance to each of us think about our own mission and how our own mission connects with the country mission, because we are the country, okay? Because there's a lot of questions and a lot of also messages to the government, to the this and that and blah, blah, blah. That's great. But then we go to the mission. Mission is action. So there's two parts of people. One part is just sitting and waiting or blaming or do something. And then there's other part of the people who is just doing action. So they know their own mission, they go forward, they know exactly what I'm going to do and what exactly value I'll bring. And then it's action. Then you're not waiting, right? So, and the mission is great. It's action, it's statement, and each of us should have their own mission, and then it goes with the country brand, because we are the country.
Sweet, thanks. Woo! Kaspar, you heard the opinions and the feelings of our panel discussion members. Share your thoughts. Did you, through your presentation and through the activities beforehand within the mission, within the country branding, have you, as for now, reached the goal or reached what you wanted to achieve through this presentation? Did everybody, and in particular our panel discussion members, understood the message and the narrative?
I think on the presentation-wise, yes, definitely. That this was, as Liene said, that the idea is that we are the country, so everybody has to have the mission. On currently, obviously, I also can agree that, let's say, there could be multiple actions, and currently maybe we're lacking the amount of the actions, but what have been created, and this is what Julia said, is something that currently is very broad, but growing and engaging with the people will focus more and narrow it down. We have created something very welcoming, and now it is for the people to state their missions, join them together, to push them forward on, and this is not something that says what you have to do. This is the platform. Why do you go to work every day? And why are you here? And when you can answer to that, are you going to do some action? And if you are doing the action, then put the action there and put on. We'll have this, for example, together with RTU on 29th, right, of September. The world record of Guinness try, let's say that's going to be a try. Yeah, it's going to be brainstorm, but we're going to try to achieve the world record on a joint brainstorming that will also include to define the people their own mission. And this is something where we can get more and more ideas with the people who have that action and to get that action collected and see where the country wants to go. And then from that we can move forward. We can narrow it down. Right. But first we have to engage with all of those who cares and who have that potential that they want to say, I know what to do. And I'm going to do it anyway, no matter what is going to be magnetic or slow or mission, I'm going to do it anyway. And we need those people. We need them to tell us what are they going to do. And then we can join it and then we can narrow it down.
Amazing. Thanks a lot. Liene, the next question towards you, but maybe we can put the RTU hat. If that's all right? Yes. The question from my side is in regards to as well the presentation and as well the whole mission-driven approach. Has RTU changed as well in this process and by implementing or getting acquainted with the mission-oriented innovation policy and mission-driven approaches? Has the university, or is it in the process of developing and working or continuing working on their missions? And the second part of the question is whether, and there should probably are, what kind of opportunities and maybe challenges does it bring for the startup community?
Oh my God, what a question. About university, I know that there's no many people who know how university works. Do you know how university works? No, right? Okay, so regarding these changes, and I believe for university, but what is important at the moment, to not go in details because you will be bored about everything that is happening, but there's a big transformation now in Riga Technical University, and it's important because, first of all, first time in our history, there's a vice rector for innovations. Woo-hoo, and that's me. Great, right? But this it's not about my position. It's about that we highlight that for university it's important. It's not about me. It's about that we announce that innovation is something that we work on, and that's transformation of the university. So that now all the faculties and staff that we have, and we have a lot of staff, there's approximately 3,000 people work in university to understand how big company we are. So that this is important, and it's give a lot of pressure, I would say, because now it's not about our university. Just to go back to our Rector's ignition event, that there was all ministers and gave a speech and and gave greetings, and that's great, and all of them said Riga Technical University will change the economy, and there was like, oh my God,
no pressure.
No pressure. And you know that the innovations is somewhere in your agenda, you will change everything, and etc. So I believe this is one point that we have announced that this is important. And then second part is how exactly we will do that. And we have a plan. And the plan is not something that I have sit in my office, and I don't have office, that's also a fun fact, and figure out what exactly we will do. In this innovation scheme, we have worked 10 years plus. Our rector has 2 startups, by the way. So we know we have gone through all the journeys, and the action plan, it's not something that we work on now. It's based what exactly we have done before, and there's clear plan how we will work more closely with the startups. We have done it, and we have proved that university can give something. You need just take it, and we will continue that, and even more and more and more. And yeah, we have a plan.
But for the startup community, what does it change? Are there any extra opportunities for them coming in, or extra challenges maybe? Why should they care about this change within RTU, or should they?
So first of all, it's important. We work also on legal side about IP, I believe this is important, and it's already pushed forward to the ministries, and hopefully end of this month there will be good news. And this is important. Secondly, we have a clear process how we can really develop the spin-offs, and that's legal, not unlegal, okay? Also a good point, right? And secondly, we have internal grants, and it's also quite important so that we allocate the budget to support startups and spin-offs from our side, like not just attract additional money from Europe, but like our budget.
Thanks, amazing. And Kaspar, another question to you. You mentioned during your presentation as well that it's been a co-creation process, right? It's co-creation process, defining the values or exploring the values and then defining them afterwards. But as for now, obviously, one of the most important factors is to always hear the university and the science part, the academia as well, and the industry within those priority sectors that you mentioned. Not only, but let's focus on the priorities at the very beginning. Would you say, how does you in your person and the organization overall, how does this communication and partnership and idea exchange is happening? Is it happening?
With the ecosystem, you mean?
Yes, exactly.
Yes. Well, no, you know better than me.
I know.
But yeah, we're restarting the process with the ecosystem approach, but because, well, there's a cabinet decision that we can go on. But the problem maybe, or the idea is, obviously, if we focus on the priority sectors, that are 5 priority sectors, the biggest problem is that everyone else, we have to tell them no. And you have to exclude something to prioritize something else, and not everything can be priority. And that is, I would say, the biggest challenge, because among the ecosystem approach, where we have academia, ministries, startups, companies, associations, so on, we communicate fairly well, I would say. We know what is the challenges, why we don't have 3 chip factories, and what should we do, and so on. Obviously, that we know, but this is the focus, and this is, I would say, maybe for this, for the MissionLatvia, that is the toughest one, because if we want to promote sustainability, technology, startups, innovation, then we have to tell to some things that is not that important, and that again is going to go back to each and every one of us, because we have to tell that yes, that is a priority. We have to have community decision that yes, we want to have big salaries, we want to have long-term sustainable life, and to do that we have to have the innovations, and that therefore maybe other priorities is not that important, and we can go to that specific focus that is super hard.
Sweet, thanks. And I see.
I just wanted to jump in. And Kaspar, are startups a priority?
Yeah, startups is one of the five priority sectors. That's obviously we see that the startups are something that generates a lot of traction. They have huge potential, and so that part is fine. Here we don't have anybody who's not, but they are among the society, and they don't maybe feel that in this I don't know, that joined to the mission, and when we'll collect more and more missions, we'll see how big part of the society is saying that, hey, my mission is to get out of the bed every day, and this is we cannot sell that to the world, and that's going to be a challenge.
Sweet, and Imants, jumping right into you've been part of it, an active part of it, of one of the RIS3, so for the abbreviation means the Research and Innovation Strategy for Smart Specialization, so the 5 sectors that Kaspar mentioned in his presentation, and you've been the headliner or the driving force in one of them. During all of this, what Kaspar's mentioned, how is it what's your take and what's your feeling? And do you think that the process works both in creation of the mission and the vision, but then at the same time, how does it work right now? Is there any results? Are there new missions coming? Please tell us.
Yes, so I was privileged to be part of the process, how it all started, and with the steering groups and everything. And I have to say it was good. So we had the flagship project in smart energy that focused around hydrogen, smart energy priorities, and we have Elvind as well. So that's coming all good together. But it's also important that it doesn't stop, because there's always ups and downs, and that it just doesn't stop with one down. And that is super important. But I do get the feeling that the public sector is getting more and more interested and supporting activities. Like there's a big conference coming up on clean energy in the Baltic Sea region, which is also supported by Liene for that part. So thank you for that. So you put your money where your mouth is, right? So that's good, but it has to continue and it has to grow, because we're not like a small island and everybody is sunshine here. We're competing on a global scale, and we're behind at some parts, and it's also a question of competition, and that's also one of the things I mentioned before. So if we have this mission, so let's make some priority instruments that the Commission offers. I'm part of that mission, like IPCEI. Estonia did it. I know people don't like that we compare ourselves to Estonia, but that's a really good example. So it's an example that they build a big company on skeleton technologies, which might be a unicorn for them. So that's right there. So I do hope that it comes together. It just doesn't stop at one point. And important thing, the ambassadors were mentioned. And this is a super opportunity to, at the awards, get some super ambassadors and stories for the MissionLatvia. So I hope that is joined somehow together.
Yeah, that would be the plan. That was a plan for the end, but thanks. Thanks a lot. But still, I got to follow up. Why should they care? Specifically about the hydrogen mission, could you expand a little more? Because it sounds wow, but what it actually does it mean? And should the people in the audience and watching us online, should they care?
Well, Cleantech for Baltics also works a lot with policy topics coming to Latvia, also from the EU level, and there is the strategy within the EU, and the Commission has said that we're going to focus our energy sector on hydrogen, both for energy resilience and for energy security. So that's done. So that's a way that's where development is going to happen. There's big funds available for that. So we can't allow ourselves as a nation to sleep, don't make use of that. So we're trying to go that way, that's good, but still there's loads of things to do. And we have the Elvind project, so we're going renewables, but renewables only partly make sense if we have energy storage. So again, hydrogen could be part of the story. And one big thing is also for startups is, where is the market? Where is your customer? And I think it's a month-old news already, but Germany said, we're going to buy all the hydrogen we can put our hands on. So there's the customer, there's the market, and we're going to have this hydrogen corridor from Finland going down through Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania, Poland, up to Germany. So there's also this opportunity where everything comes together. So this is a new emerging market where we can, if we are clever right now, be part of the bigger picture, so to say.
Great, thanks, and thank you very much for the answering. And obviously, as we've been going through back and forth, it's about innovation, about cutting-edge technologies, and I cannot imagine a discussion about the breakthrough innovation and cutting-edge technologies without bringing up front, I believe, subjective opinion, one of the leading institutes and research institute that we have in Latvia, the Institute of Organic Synthesis, Latvian Institute of Organic Synthesis, there you go. Because you are at the forefront of innovation, and when you see the patents and publications, you're the absolute leader. And thank you very much, Oswald, for being with us today. And the question to you is, as Imants mentioned, we have the prioritization sectors. One is energy, got its own strategy, got its own mission. And I know you've been a part of the biomedicine vector that we've got as well. And could you elaborate a little about what are the priorities? Because I heard we got a health tech startups in here. So maybe, or medtech or biotech. Is there anything for them? Or, can they get anything out of it? That's a very pragmatic question, but at the same time, can they co-create with you or with the rest of the strategy creator members? And what's in it for the all national startup ecosystem?
Okay, good question. Why we are here? Actually, I had the privilege to be in the group creating the strategy for biomedicine, medical technologies. But why do we create strategies? We want to achieve certain goals. And the goal of the biomedicine was to live longer, to have better life quality, and then we have to find tools to do so. And what we are doing now, what the branch is doing, this is bottom-up initiative, I would say. We have, we think about creation of research and technology platforms. One platform we have already created, thanks to the Ministry of Economics who supported us, is so-called Innovation Fund National Research Program. What does it mean? It means that 6 research organizations from Latvia, 6 best research organizations from Latvia came together and created, let me call it ecosystem, where biomedicine projects of any complexity may be carried on. We work for half of a year, a little bit more, and on 8th of November there will be a big event. There will be a conference presenting the current results and status, etc., etc. Okay, and there are two main tasks. The one is, again, about soil, about Kinderstube. We have to create the system where innovations may pop up. And the next is, we should help to enable the new projects. And currently we are on the stage that we have a new diagnostic tool. Maybe the startup community might have heard the name MitoClue. Currently we are also one startup company called Printimed, which exploits spider silk as biomaterial. For me it was kind of extreme personal experience, because maybe 5.5 years ago, my colleague came to me and said, okay, I want to study the mechanism how spider silk is being made. I said, okay, good. That seems very nice blue sky research. Right. And then in 5 years, a little bit more, they have created a company. Okay, they were not alone, again. It's a part of a bigger ecosystem. It's a part of a bigger collaboration network. But if you don't have these platforms, if you don't have these collaboration networks, then you are out of soil. You are without Kinderstube. And that's a drawback. The next initiative in the same area is that in 2026, there will be a new research institute in Latvia.
Right.
Consisting of current Institute of Organic Synthesis and current Biomedicine Study and Research Center. Why did we do so? We see that the focus in biomedicine is shifting from pure small molecules towards biopharmaceuticals, maybe to some combination of small molecules and biopharmaceuticals. And we wanted to create a research organization capable to perform such kind of projects. And that's what we are doing right now. So that's not just because of size matters or critical mass or whatsoever. That's because we see that Latvia needs such a platform. And this platform will be open for anyone. This platform will be open for universities, for companies. And we really do hope that this platform will also give rise to new startups. That's how the biomedicine area is developing right now. So these are the two biggest initiatives.
Right, thanks a lot. And I believe this forms already an overall understanding why we all should care about, not the slogan, as Kaspar mentioned, not the brand, but the mission, and why we should, keep our ears open and listen to the missions that are already in the process and ask ourselves, how does that help my mission, and whether I should help, whether I can help and be a part of the bigger national mission. Julie, a question towards you, as a the brilliant communicator. You've heard the narratives, right? You've heard the stories and the directions and the vectors. What would be your suggestion? How we should back it? All of us, how should that, and whether should it go outside on a global scale? Is this our brand?
Right, so I've been sitting here and thinking, what tangible benefit does this mission have for Latvian startups? And I think that I'm getting, and therefore I imagine other people also might be getting a little hung up on the word mission. Because the word mission implies one achievable goal at the end. And I don't want to put anyone on the spot, but can you answer for yourself after hearing a presentation, an entire panel, can you answer for yourself what is that one mission? I can't answer that for myself. And I think that we have to return a little bit back to why we even came to MissionLatvia. And the reason was because the parliament, our parliament, decided on a vote that we will be mission-led. And that isn't a branding decision, that is actually a decision-making structure decision. They have decided that they will be mission-led. And what does being mission-led mean? This is actually not a new concept. This is a concept that is also being currently adopted by the European Union about how they make decisions. They define a mission, and every single decision that is made through this filter of, does this support our mission? Does it help us get to our target? Yes or no? Yes, we do it. No, we don't do it. So that actually answers the question about the priorities. It requires a prioritization, and I feel like we haven't defined that one mission, and therefore we don't have that one priority. Therefore, the mechanism for decision making cannot function. And right now we're trying to make this being mission-led, we're trying to make that a brand decision, but in fact that's kind of secondary. It's supposed to be a decision-making format. And I'm not currently seeing that being implemented in Parliament, in governmental levels. But then again, I'm not there. Maybe the governmental experts can enlighten me. But the Parliament decided, yes, we're going to be mission-led, and okay, we're going to have a new brand, MissionLatvia. But the next step is lacking. We didn't decide what that mission will be, except for this mystical Baltic Sea saving mission, which I don't know if every single one of our decisions in the country should be led based on this one question. Does it help us save the Baltic Sea, yes or no? I don't know. Maybe we should be thinking about different missions, maybe related to welfare or well-being or economic progress and whatnot. Not my decision to make, but I'm feeling that until we have this definition, it will be very difficult to tell people what their benefit will be from this and to see some kind of benefit. Otherwise, we're kind of staying in a wishy-washy, we all are part of it. And I think that is very, very important. And I do truly believe that we create this. And So from one side, we have this government-mandated mission, but at the same time, we don't have that government-mandated what that mission is going to be. So we are left in limbo, and therefore it has become left to us to define what that is, and I believe that the branding will catch up, but that doesn't answer the critical question about what's going on with this decision-making format. So I see conversations among the LIA people, and I imagine you probably have comments about this, and I'm very eager to hear what you have to say.
Sweet, thanks. That's a great opening for another hour and even more. We're running out of time. We got several questions actually, but first of all, I want to ask the people in here. We've got one question that we will be able to answer. Anyone? Raise your hands. 3, 2, 1. No. So Liene, then yeah. The question. From you.
I try to pass that I have a question. But I will have a question to all the panelists. Let's imagine. I believe also the mission is some kind of state of mind so that everything is possible. You know, maybe it's a movie, but anyway, everything is possible. Imagine everything is possible. I would ask you, could you announce the title of your own mission? I can add something, nice title of your own mission. But with 100% succeed, that it will succeed, and hopefully it's related to the startups. I feel Kaspars want to answer this first.
I can actually.
Oh yeah,
go.
please.
If I can, I've got this mission for some time already, but I want to. My mission is to help and build one deeptech unicorn in Latvia. That's my mission, related to the startup ecosystem. It has been for some time already.
Great. Kaspars?
Well, my mission is to prove that within my lifetime it can be achieved that Latvia as a country runs in the front side of average well-being of European Union.
There you go. Anyone else?
Yes, easy one. So organizational level, establish Latvia as a Cleantech powerhouse. So only with the help of exciting startups, we can do that. But on a more actionable item, also in the same vertical, it's a mission that we should follow up is to establish also a hydrogen valley in Latvia. If we want the sector to grow, to develop, that's an actionable mission that we should complete somewhat in the near future.
Great. Liene?
Oh, my mission is for sure to make Latvia's good stories seen.
Thanks. There you go.
Oh, yeah. Maybe a little bit different kind of mission, but still. I want to see Latvia as an educated knowledge society. And then the other things will come, you know. Again, it's about soil, it's about Kinderstube. Eh?
Amazing. Please, let's give a hand to that mission as well. Thank you, Osvalds. Liene, don't put your mic. You didn't answer.
But this was my question.
Yeah, it doesn't work that way. No.
No, it works like that, because you ask questions, but you don't answer to them. My mission, I could join all the missions that I heard today, but my mission is in some way show that not Latvia can, but that show that we already
Did.
we already there, so that everyone feels this ambition, and this is your power. You just need to open it, and that's it. And I believe in that, and I see that every day, great students, great scientists, great startups. It's just to show possibility how you can start to believe in you. That's it.
Thanks, and applause for Liene as well. And for the rest of the missions, it's not finished yet. Kaspar, the last question from my side, so over to you. what can the people that are watching us here and online, how can they become the part of the Mission Latvia?
Yeah, first a quick remark. How do you know when you're on a stage and you're on a panel and you are in Latvia? And the answer is the first row is always free. So this is again the message that to all people who are here, that to just join, don't be afraid to fill out the first row. And we don't have all the answers to the questions. And Julia is perfectly right that yes, government decided that this is going to be our way how we're going to think, and then not following that. Well, what can I do? But that doesn't matter that we cannot do something about that. So please be proactive. You are the part of the mission, and define the mission, figure it out, put it online, and become the brand ambassador and tell the good stories. And if you're all the people of action, that our KPIs for the startup, they are already achieved.
How can they become the ambassadors?
Just go to latvia.eu and click join.
Right. Amazing. Please, let's give a round of applause to our panel discussion members. Kaspars Rožkalns, Liene Briede, Imants Martinsons, Gifford, Osvalds Pugovičs. Thanks a lot. And let's fill the front rows and achieve the mission.